what would we do without subscribers and friends making suggestions or comments on our videos? And so what's just happened is I made a video, and Land Rover Lance, guy I've only just got to know, California, Land Rover Lance, got a lovely old Land Rover in California. It'd be rare, wouldn't it? Most of the mustn't get sidetracked. So Land Rover Lance made a comment to me about the movie The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, and he said, did I know that in the closing scenes of the movie, in the cemetery, where they rip open the coffins trying to find the gold, the skeleton that's in the coffin that they open is actually a real person, and that was a Spanish actress who wanted to continue working after she had died, and so she put it in her will that she wanted her body, her skeleton, to continue to be used in movies after she was dead. Now, when Lance told me that, I had to go burrowing down in many rabbit burrows. And to cut a long story short, there is no proof anywhere of that ever happening, to the point that there is no name recorded anywhere of who that actress was, who the family was, what the family name was. Sergio Leone at one stage was asked about it in a Italian documentary. That documentary is not available in English, and it's not been translated or dubbed. It's all in Italian, where I've got most of this information from, because I've looked everywhere trying to track this down. The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, more myths about the movie, and there is talk about this Italian documentary that at the end of the day says it can't be proved, and even the documentary team can't find a name of who this was. Now, if you look on the American Skeptics Society webpage, they have actually pursued this, would you believe? They've pursued it because so many people have passed on this urban myth about the body, the skeleton in The Good and the Bad and the Ugly being a real person. What this has generated is that if anyone was to say, well, hang on, it might be true, the reality is that it has actually happened. It's happened in England, and it is an actor who was very heavily into theatre productions of Shakespeare, and when he died he recorded in his will that he wanted, this sounds bizarre, that he wanted his head removed and he wanted his skull to be used in future Shakespearean plays as Yorick. Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well, Hamlet. Now, you think, well, how come you're saying that that's true and the Spanish woman isn't true? It's because that person, Andrei Chechesnikov or something, his name is known. Not only that, the Royal Shakespearean Theatre Company in England have recorded that this is true. They have it as one of their props, a human's legitimate skull used by the Royal Shakespearean, what a mouthful, the Royal Shakespearean Theatre Company. And if you go looking, you will find the latest photo that you will find of a production of Hamlet with the real human, Andrei's real skull, playing Yorick long after he's dead, is when David Tennant from Doctor Who, Scottish actor, Broadchurch, so he is standing holding the skull of an actual real person who bequeathed their head to the theatre. So that's why I think if this was true about this Spanish woman having her body skeleton in The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, we would by now have known who she was. And sadly, thank you, Lance. I really thank you for passing that on to me, because it's made a great video to make, but I do believe it's an urban myth. A rose as sweet would never smell as kindly as a rising moon. Perhaps that's the last Shakespeare we'll ever do. Till next time, cheers.